Chapter 53. The Truth of Creation. The King's Artistry. Rimuru. Now, as for the answer to your question, I started, addressing Veldora. I'll answer your questions, but it will take some time for the explanation, so let's take a seat, I said to Veldora and gestured to Ciel. She understood what I needed and created 3 chairs and a table with a few snacks on it. As she created the table and chairs, we took our seats. Veldora and I sat facing each other, while Ciel took a seat beside me. I will tell you, but first, tell me how much you know about existence, I asked Veldora. It's necessary to gauge his understanding beforehand because if he lacks knowledge about existence, he will struggle to comprehend the majority of the information I'm about to share. Well, from our experiences and from what I had heard from you and Big Brother Veldora, I know this much. That this is not the only world. The world is far bigger than what we think. It is separated into 3 parts, and 2 parts are inside one part, which is the void, and it is infinite. One part is known as tensura world, which was created by Big Bro Veldora, and it is separated from the void. The other part, the second part, is called the fiction world, which is created by the void itself. This world is also separated by the void and the tensura world. And no one from either world can travel to another world except you and Ciel. Even if these worlds are big and infinite, they are still only a fraction of the void. Veldora told me what he knows. I must say I'm a little disappointed because, from our experience, he should be aware of it a little more. I guess I'll tell him a little more, and also, even if he knows that, I still need to tell him the other things that, beside me and Ciel, no one knows. Well, you have a good understanding, but still, there are a lot more things than this. But well, I guess I should tell you, I said while taking a sip of my tea, which Ciel just made for me. You see, in the vast expanse of the void, there exist infinite layers, each with its own unique existence. Similarly, the fiction world mirrors this structure. It also has infinite layers, and each layer has its own existence, its own world. Some worlds from the fiction world have their own voids. Additionally, there are multiple layers inside tensura, and each layer has an intricate and complex web of infinite realities. Each reality has its alternate reality. Each and every reality is different from the others, whether it's the main reality or an alternate reality. Still, there are some similarities between them. However, there are some realities that are completely different from others. All these combined realities of one layer make one true reality, and all the combined realities of every layer make one prime reality. On the other hand, in the fiction world, things go a little differently because there are some worlds that have only one reality, while there are some worlds that have several realities. There are also some worlds that have several true realities and some worlds that have several prime realities. Moreover, there are worlds that have multiple individuals stronger than Veldora, or as strong as Veldora in his prime, or should I say his original true state, aka tier 0 characters. And all of this combined makes one existence, which resides in one layer of the void, and there are several layers like this. However, despite the intricate complexity of these worlds, they are nothing but a fraction of the whole, just fictional, as they are merely products of imagination. These worlds exist, the void is just a manifestation of the creative minds of real individuals, the authors. While these creators may seem insignificant and pathetic in comparison to their creations, with no power at all, yet the inhabitants of the fictional world are powerless in front of those people. However, there are some individuals in the fictional world who possess the power to influence the real world to some degree. The combination of the real and fictional worlds forms what is known as the Oblivion. However, this is not the end, as there is much more to explore beyond the realms of the fictional and real worlds, and even beyond Oblivion. This uncharted territory and the ultimate truth, the prime state, is known as the Shunyata. The Shunyata represents a true and prime state where the concept of existence takes on a whole new dimension. Here, nothing exists, and yet everything exists simultaneously. It is a realm where the very essence of being, known as Shunyata, transcends all boundaries, such as real and fictional worlds. Such things are nothing more than the tip of the iceberg. In this prime state, nothing else matters because everything is Shunyata, there is nothing besides it. Shunyata stands as a fundamental and authentic concept, encapsulating the ultimate truth of existence. Within the vast expanse of the Shunyata, infinite possibilities exist, each with its own distinct characteristics and intricacies. These obligations are diverse and unique, with not a single similarity between them. And I was continuing my explanation of the ultimate truth, but Veldora abruptly stopped me. Stop. 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 No more. I can't comprehend with this much. It's too much. He abruptly said, interrupting my explanation. What a guy. I was about to start the main part. What happened? Why are you telling me to stop? Didn't you ask me to tell you? I asked him calmly. It's too much for me. I didn't ask for this. Just tell me about the creation part, he said while sitting down. Fine, but if I didn't tell you all of that, you wouldn't even understand what I'm about to explain now. Because at least this much information is necessary for you to grasp the concept of my creation. And this is only the beginning, there's a whole lot more to it. This is just a drop in the sea, I said, taking more sips of tea. I don't want to know more about it. For such a great and majestic being as myself, these kinds of trivial things don't matter, as they won't do any good for me. So just tell me about your creation, and that's all, he said, crossing his arms. How can he grasp what I'm about to explain if he lacks even a basic understanding of Shinyata? It's essential to have some knowledge of its fundamentals. However, it's an entirely different thing that I'm not going to explain to him in detail. If I decided to explain Shinyata, or even just one oblivion, it would require billions, if not trillions, of years. The complexity and intricacy surpass everyone's comprehension. In all of Shinyata, only Ciel and I can comprehend it. They are far more complex and intricate than you think. Compared to a single oblivion, let alone the Shinyata, the explanation of the real and fictional worlds down to every single detail would feel like a simple math question, like 2 plus 2. Well, for the time being, this much information will be enough. But there is still a lot more, and he won't be able to comprehend it, so there's no point in telling him. Fine, I'll just tell you about my creation. Do you remember the time when I went somewhere after we came back from our adventure from another world? I asked him, finally getting to the part that he wants to know. Yeah, our adventure that was so fun. We went to so many worlds and had so much fun there, it was thrilling. That is one of the best memories of mine. You still remember how we caused destruction to those worlds and how we killed those people. I can still hear their cry of agony. We at least destroyed a few million worlds, no more than a few million. I think it is almost a billion worlds. And here he goes, completely forgetting about our main topic of conversation and starting his own ranting. Seriously, this guy is hopeless. Hey, old man. You're getting off track, I said while giving him a slap on the back. But I can't deny it, that adventure was wonderful, and their cries of pain and anguish were also great. Killing all those foolish and arrogant people was also fun. I think we should do it again after all this stuff is finished, I said, taking my seat. Yeah, we definitely should. And yes, I remember as we returned from our adventure, you just went on your own and didn't return for some time, he said, finally giving me the right answer. Well, that was the time when I went to Shinyata. There, I created my own world, my own creation. I did that for fun, just to cure my boredom, to find something that could entertain me, I said, starting the explanation. There, I separated a part of Shinyata from everything else, such as Oblivion or other entities. I created a special layer that isolates my creation from other things. No one can break that layer, nor can they travel past it except me and Ciel. First, I created a vast world comparable to an Oblivion and brought life to it. I observed that world until it reached its end on its own. However, that was a failed project because it wasn't able to entertain me for long. It was entertaining at the start, but eventually, it became boring. So, I created another world, and this pattern continued. I created world after world, each different from the other, but in the end, not a single world was able to entertain me. Each world entertained me for a while, but once again, it became boring, and eventually, it met its end by my own hands. This perpetual cycle of creation and destruction continued as I sought to find amusement within my creations. However, none of them met my expectations. So, after countless repetitions of this process, I grew too bored. It was then that I decided to take a different approach. With that thought, I created 2 wills, or more precisely, 2 entities, and gave them unimaginable powers surpassing all comprehension. These beings possess enough abilities and power that they can completely create, alter, destroy, and control all the oblivions in the Shinyata. These 2 beings are the highest and most superior beings in all of Shinyata, wielding authority over everything within their domain. After creating them, I let them create what they wanted. I gave that isolated place to them and decided to observe them, their activities, and their creations. I finally told him about my creation. Interesting, that was very interesting. It sounds so fun. So, what are their names? Are they aware of your existence? Did you contact them? Can they become stronger than they are? And with that, Veldora started his barrage of questions. I gave them names by my own name. I bestowed upon them my first name, Rimuru. And as for your second question, no, they are not aware of my existence, or rather, I didn't let them know about me. I answered his first 2 questions. What? Why? He continued. Well, the main reason is because of my past experiences. I let my initial creation know about me, and they started to worship me and became obsessed with me. Instead of focusing on the world's development, they just focused on me, and in the end, it became boring. So, I decided not to let my future creations know about my existence, I told him, explaining my reason for not letting my creation know about me. Well, that is a valid point. If they can't make it interesting and fun, then what's the point in creating them? Veldora gave his unnecessary sagely reply. Well, as for your other questions, no, I don't have any contact with them. If I did, they would become aware of my existence. Also, I can observe them, so there's no need to make contact with them. And as for your last question, yes, they can become strong or weak, but it entirely depends on them. I gave them unimaginable power to trifle the fictional and real world's power beyond anyone's comprehension. They can create, destroy, alter, and control the real world, the fictional world, and even oblivions. So, I don't think they will pursue more power. I answered all of his questions. But still, I don't get it. You are still here, so how are you observing them? And if the shunyata is beyond everything and it is a true and prime state, then does it mean that you are also bound by it? Does it mean that you are also a part of it? He once again asked new questions. But I must say, these questions are valid. Well, yes, it is true that shunyata is beyond everything, and it is a true and prime state. But that is not all, because there are a lot more things, and it is too complex for you to understand. And no, I am not bound by anything. I am the highest and absolute, there is nothing above me. I am the ruler of everything, the king of everything. A mere shunyata cannot bind me, it is the opposite of that. Shunyata is just a fraction of my existence. You can say it is more like a figment of my imagination or a mere thought. In fact, I can manipulate shunyata as I see fit. I can make this shunyata into nothingness, and believe it or not, I have already done that, I told him, revealing a little extent of my power. I don't get most of the parts, but I understand that you are the strongest and above everything. But still, how are you observing them from here? If I remember correctly, you mentioned sealing your powers, so does that mean your current form is merely an avatar of your true self? Is your true self observing your creation? He asked me the same question as before, while giving me a thoughtful pose. He is a lot more curious about it than I thought. Well, to answer your question, yes, this is an avatar of my true body, or to be more precise, a clone of mine with the lowest of my power. And as for your other question, no, it's not an avatar of my true self, but rather a clone of my true body. The consciousness inside is mine, and there is no other avatar or double of mine. I am all one and only being in all. Complete and full. It's just that I am using a clone of mine, because my true body is too strong for this world to bear. If I brought my true body here, it would get obliterated, and that's why I am using this clone, I answered his first question. As for observing them, it is very simple. I am the supreme entity, above everything. I know everything inside shunyata or even what lies beyond it. I know everything, whether it is past, present, or future, whether it has happened, is happening, or will happen. I know everything that has existed, didn't exist, and will exist. It has already happened for me. All action is my doing, everything is known by me. So, observing them is nothing because I am already aware of what they are doing. And with that, I answered all of his questions. I see, it makes sense now. But if you know everything and are still continuing your journey here, then doesn't it mean you already know everything that will happen in the future? Doesn't that make it boring? Just as I thought his questions were over, he once again asked me another question. This will be the last one. I won't answer any more of his questions. I need to go and see how things are going there. I can sense that the battle is already nearing its end. I should finish this soon. Veldora, this will be the last question. No more than this, understood? I said to him, feeling bored with answering his questions. Fine. Fine. He gave in. Well, here's the simple answer. There is no future here for me to know. I gave him the answer in the most straightforward way I could. Future what? And here we go again. For a moment, I forgot that he is an idiot. What I mean is, I have erased the concept of the future from only this reality. There is no future for this reality, only past and present. We create our own future. And if there is no future, if there's nothing ahead to foresee, then I won't know anything because nothing exists there in the first place. That's how I am able to enjoy this, I explained to him in the simplest way possible. I still don't fully understand, but it sounds illogical to me, he said, his voice filled with doubt. Is this old man doubting me? Those trivial things don't apply to me. I can do whatever I want. I wanted to do that, and I did. That's all. Don't doubt me, you old man. HMPH. I retorted. How dare this old man doubt me, his own brother? HMPH. I am not doubting you or anything, it's just that it sounded so logical. Just forget it. On the other hand, if we can create our own future, then let's create a future where we can do, and here he goes, starting with his usual antics. Interesting future, how things are becoming a little boring lately. We should spice things up a little. Yeah, we definitely should. Haha, I exactly know what to do. Hey, old man, wanna cause some chaos in the world? Chapter 54. Completion of Pieces Prelude to the Grand Plan. Part 1. rimuru-tempest. Hey, old man, wanna cause some chaos in the world? I asked Veldora. As of now, everything is becoming boring. The growth of my country is good and all, but it's still a little boring. My main plan will start into action after a month or so, because before I start my plan, I need to recruit Kabiru and Geld, as well as take the whole Jur forest and its monsters under my command, and make my country a little bigger. Once that's accomplished, I'll set my grand plan into motion. But in the meantime, why not cause some chaos in the world? Haha, hahaha, 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 evil laugh. What do you mean, bro? But whatever it is, I'm in. Veldora said with a devilish grin. Oh, it's nothing much. Why don't you take a stroll around the world in your dragon form? Imagine this. You, in your majestic dragon form, taking a leisurely stroll around the world, particularly towards the east and west. You don't need to release your aura or anything, just transform into your dragon form and take a stroll. This will put the whole world into chaos, seeing the supposed dead evil dragon alive. Don't you think their reaction will be quite interesting to see? I can't wait for it, haha. I explained to him what he has to do. That's very like you, Rimuru. I'll do it. Veldora replied with a wholehearted evil laugh. I am Chaos Creator, after all. I need to maintain my status. Haha. Chaos is fun. But don't go towards that country you destroyed 300 years ago. They're still not strong enough to face you, and I need them for my future plans. If they catch sight of you now, I won't be able to use them to entertain me. So, you can't go there. But for other countries, feel free to roam as you please. Seeing you alive and roaming around freely will surely put the human nations into chaos. They will be so confused and terrified that they might die from shock. I bet after your little stroll, they might try to do something stupid like attack the Jura forest. But you know, that will be interesting too, playing with their army a little. Haha. I bet I am looking downright evil just now. If they did something stupid like that, then we will just annihilate them, Veldora said as if it's normal. Well, it's normal, but if we did that, then it wouldn't be interesting. No, if that happens, then we will not directly obliterate them. Instead, we will use our forces and beat them at their own game. In the process, we will take their nations under our control, I explained to him. I have very grand plans for them after all, so how could I let them get killed so easily, huh? Kuku, fufu, kufu, ha 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 hey, Ciel, why are you poking my cheeks? See that, ha 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 ha, tickles. I was enjoying my villain time, but out of nowhere, Ciel just started to poke my cheeks, and seriously, that tickles. Nothing, I am just checking if you've entered your villain arc or not, because if you have, then I need to record master acting cool. Ciel said with sparkling eyes. TTH, that's embarrassing. Seriously, this woman. Stop there, no recording or anything. I said, firmly gripping her shoulders. Oh, are you that shy, master? Hi, and here I thought that you had become a little bold. Sigh. She said it with a haughty attitude. Oh? So you want to see my boldness, huh? Well then, I'll show you how bold I am. You want to see my boldness, huh? My little devil, then let me show you my boldness, I said, forcefully catching her by her waist and starting to close the gap between us. Master, we are outside. And that's the reaction I like to see. A blushing Ciel. Utterly cute. Even though she is usually bold, whenever I try to tease her, she is a blushing mess. So what? Didn't you want to see my boldness, my sweet little devil cat? Bringing my lips near her ear, I replied in a husky voice. Master, blushing intensified. Cough ahem, I am still here. I was so engrossed in teasing her that I forgot about our surroundings. But after I heard a certain old geezer, good-for-nothing, evil lizard's voice, I snapped back to reality. Damn. Can't that lizard keep quiet for some time? Idiot. And just like that, she's back in her seat. My attention shifted for only a split second, and she's already returned. Curse you, Veldora. Yes, I can't do anything now, can I? So, where was I? Ah, yes, I was suggesting that after dealing with this Orc Lord stuff, you should take a stroll around the world. And after that, maybe we could have a spar, I suggested to him. A spar? Yeah, we should have one. It's been a while since we last sparred with each other. But let's make it a pure martial arts fight without any usage of magic or ultimate skills, just pure martial arts. I also want to show you some new moves that I have created. And with this, he started rambling. Well, in the end, he agreed, and that's all that matters. Yeah, we can have a spar purely focused on martial arts. And for you, I will have a handicap so you can perform better and don't embarrass yourself, my dear brother, I teased him as I stood up. That's for earlier, you old man. What did? And before he could retort, I decided to leave. So if that's all, then let's go towards the others. I can sense that they are about to kill the Orc Lord. As I got up, Ciel quickly absorbed the table and chairs and appeared right beside me. Okay, now then let's go. I said, and whoosh. We teleported right above the marshlands where the battle is going on. Wow, these guys did quite the job. Takuro is literally chopping the orcs into pieces, and as for the other troops, they are also not doing bad either. As for Benimaru and Shion, they are not fighting the Orc Lord, rather, they are keeping him restrained at one place, while they themselves are bickering with each other, for who will get to kill the Orc Lord. And Diablo is just standing at the sidelines, observing them and giving the necessary guidance. Yo, guys. I said while still flying above the battlefield. As I greeted them, all of my subordinates' focus shifted on me, and Diablo literally appeared so fast and near that only me, Ciel, and Veldora were able to see him. It seems there are some people who like to spy, I said, sensing someone eavesdropping on us. Interesting, so milf is also there, huh? What does she tell them, that idiot? I am not happy for it. Ciel, let her know that I am not happy about what she has told them just now. Understood. Well, I should give her a scare because nowadays her pranks are going a bit too far. With that in mind, I looked in the direction of the people who are spying on us, and for a brief moment, I activated my eyes and gave a bone-chilling stare to them. It was only for a brief moment, so the only people who saw it are Ciel, Veldora, and the people that I stared at. "VR brother, you don't have to go that far," Veldora said in a slightly scared voice. Guess he still remembers the first time that I gave him a death stare. It's necessary to teach kids where they should stop. I said to no one in particular, completely ignoring Veldora. "Diablo, report." I asked Diablo to report the things that have happened here during my absence. "Yes, my lord, everything has transpired just as you said. Benimaru Dono, Takuro Dono, Suwa Dono, and Shion have taken their anger out on the orcs, and we have also saved the lizardman and that idiot Gabiru. I also secured all the souls of the orcs that have been killed in this battle. Additionally, I sense that Lady Milm, along with some weaker individuals, is spying on the battlefield, but since Lady Milm is involved, I didn't take any action." Diablo reported everything that had happened just as I asked. "Well, it seems that everything is going just as I thought it would be. Now that Benimaru and the others have vented their anger, it will be easier to bring the orcs under my control in the future, without causing any dispute among them. Well, I guess it's time for me to take the lead. Benimaru, Shion, that's enough. I'll take care of him," I said to Beanie and Shion as I appeared in front of the orc lord. "Understood, my lord," they said and backed away. It seems that Shion wanted to say something, but because of Beanie, she had to reluctantly agree. "So, you are the orc lord, huh?" I mumbled as I observed him. It seems while we were talking, the orc lord has evolved into a demon lord. How well, even after his evolution, he is not that strong for an orc disaster. "Haha, I am the orc disaster, I am the one who will devour all in this world. My name is Geld the orc disaster." He let out a big scream before introducing himself. Quite the dramatic one, I say. Well, whatever. It's not like he is going to live for a long time anyway, so I'll let this slide for this time. "Hey, look pal, no personal problem, but you have to die," I said to the orc disaster, gaining his attention. "Me die? No, you will die along with all of you," he said and let out another scream, which is unnecessary. I guess I need to finish him soon because it seems that Diablo won't be able to hold himself anymore and kill the orc disaster along with all the orcs. Seriously, he can't stand it if anyone insults me. Well, I can't stand it either, so let's just get over with it. "Hey dude, no hard feelings, but well, you will die, and that's for sure. But since you were misled into this, I will show you a little mercy. I'll let you know that your brethren won't be starved anymore, nor will they get punished for coming here. I am planning to take all of them under me. Well, that's all, so bye." I gave him a word of relief. I don't feel any sympathy for him, nor do I feel anything, but he has earned a little amount of respect from me for doing all this for his people. That's why I let him know that his people won't be starved to death or punished for invading the Jura forest. Well, that's all. Devour all things Aztec. And with that, the orc disaster is gone. He tried to resist, but Aztec, who has already devoured more than trillions of worlds, devouring him is nothing, so his resistance was futile as he was absorbed and turned into nothingness. 4. And as I absorbed him, the battle finally came to an end. Everyone stopped, and the effect of the unique skill starve disappeared. Now that it's done, it's time to take the whole Jura forest, as well as everyone within it, under me. With that intention in mind, I once again started to fly in the sky. Location: Puppet Nation of Gistav. Moments earlier. In a room half filled with darkness and half light, we can see 4 people sitting. They are 4 out of the 10 great demon lords. These 4 demon lords decided to take independent action concerning the forest. There was no problem in this regard. However, they immediately started bickering when it came to who would monitor the situation. But after some argument and discussion, they decided to watch together. So now they are sitting in one room watching the battle of orcs in the marshlands. They are. In the form of a young girl, we see Milm Nava, the demon lord known as the Destroyer, one of the most powerful individuals in the entire existence. With her youthful appearance, she resembles a 12 to 13-year-old with pink hair tied in twin pigtails. Moreover, she is the most short-tempered and straightforward among them, what the rest would consider common sense is completely lost on her. However, despite her seemingly childish demeanor, she possesses remarkable intelligence, and can be considered one of the smartest individuals in the world, when it really comes down to it. Others often underestimate her due to her playful nature. While she may appear simple, Milm's true cunning nature is hidden beneath the surface, as she prefers to keep her intellect hidden, finding greater enjoyment in the unpredictability of her actions. Beside her sits Free, the Harpy Queen, and another of the demon lords. Known as the Sky Queen, Free's species reigns over the skies, wielding a special ability known as magic jamming. This power cancels out flight magic spells, rendering those unable to fly vulnerable to their demise. She is at a demon lord seed level of power. The person next to Free is the Beast Master and one of the demon lords, Carrion. Carrion has short, spiky blonde hair and a large build, standing tall with black sharp nails, and a beast paw print tattoo on his right chest. He wears loose clothing and a 3-part pauldron on his right shoulder. He is at a Demon Lord seed level of power. Next to him is the Marionette Master and another of the Demon Lords, Clayman. Although he is considered the weakest among the Demon Lords, Clayman compensates with his scheming nature. He is below the Demon Lord seed level in terms of power. However, that was in the past because his strength has greatly increased over time, and he is now as strong as any average awakened Demon Lord. Milm has noticed Clayman's rapid increase in strength and his awakening, but she dismisses it as it does not concern her, which is rather true. Currently, they are watching the Orc Lord fighting against some Magians from the Jura Forest. What the heck is going on? Why is the Orc Lord being defeated? Who are those people? Clayman spoke rather angrily. I don't know, but they seem rather strong for Magians. I don't think even I can beat that one-horned Kijin or that red-headed Kijin, Free said, showing interest in these Magians. Yeah, I don't think I can beat them either. But I wonder who they are. I was not aware that there are people like this inside the Jura Forest, Carrion said to no one in particular, but his voice was filled with curiosity. I wonder that too. And Free, they are not Kijins, rather, they are honest, Milm said, observing the honest. You seem quite knowledgeable about it despite not visiting the Jura Forest, Free said in a proud voice. Well, it's not like I haven't visited the Jura Forest or anything, it's just been some years since I last visited the forest, Milm said to them, shocking them as they didn't know that she had visited the Jura Forest. Ha! But don't we have a pact with the storm dragon Veldora? So how did you go there and why? This time Carrion was the one who spoke. Upon his question, Clayman perked up and started to pay attention to their conversation, as this could be valuable information for him at least, that's what he thinks. Well, that pact has nothing to do with me. I can go there whenever I want, and not only me, but Guy, Ramrus, and even Dino have gone to the Jura Forest multiple times. This pact only applies to you newcomers. Us old demon lords are free to go into the Jura Forest whenever we want, Milm said, as if it were a normal thing. However, she soon realized that what she had revealed was not just normal information, but rather very important. Yet she didn't care, confident that no one would scold her, as long as they didn't find out about it. Unfortunately for her, a certain deity had already discovered her actions, and they are not very pleased about it. And she sensed it through their soul corridor. We were not aware of that. So why are only we not allowed to enter the Jura Forest? Clayman asked, wanting to know more about it. Sorry, I can't tell you about it. It's classified information. I have already told you more than I should, and for that, some people are not happy about it, she said in a serious voice. This surprised them because they had never seen this side of her, or rather, she had never shown them this side before. Well, we won't ask you any more about it, so don't worry, Free interjected before Clayman could ask more questions. She was somewhat aware that Milm rarely gets serious, and when she does, it's usually a matter of great importance. She didn't want to provoke her by pressing for answers. Frey remembered a time years ago when Milm first came over to her place, and one of her men, who was one of her strongest, angered her. That time she had witnessed a glimpse of Milm's power after one of her men had angered her. It was a terrifying experience that she had no desire to witness it again. Hey, look, there's a girl over there, and she looks strong. And that black-haired demon, too, Carrion said, attempting to shift their focus away from the previous topic. I can't sense their power, but I'm sensing great danger from them. The chills that they are giving are terrifying, Free said after observing them. Diablo? What is he doing there? And who is she? She seems to be someone important and hella strong too, Milm said in a low voice. What did you say, Milm? Free asked her after hearing Milm mumbling. Nothing, Milm said, still staring at Diablo and the mysterious girl. She's stronger than Guy, that's for sure. And that ring I can sense the same energy from it that's on Ciel's and Rimuru's wedding rings. Wait, did Bestie get married to another woman? Why didn't he tell me? Is he going to leave me? I don't want that. He's my brother. Why is she taking him away from me? What's going on? Arg. Right now, Milm's mind is a mess. Unbeknownst to her, her Oni-chan complex is activating. She's starting to fear that this new girl might take Rimuru away from her, triggering a surge of conflicting emotions. Hey, look, there's someone appearing over there, 3 of them, Clayman said, gaining everyone's attention once again. Veldora. What is he doing there? Milm questioned after looking into the crystal. This time her voice was not low but loud enough for others to hear. Veldora, did you just say Veldora, as in the storm dragon Veldora? Carrion said in disbelief, staring wide-eyed at the crystal. What is going on? By the mention of Veldora, Clayman became anxious and outrageously spoke, but before he could continue, he was dropped to the ground. Not only him, but everyone in that room except Milm dropped to the ground like flies. They were not dead, but simply unconscious. They were overcome by fear and despair. They didn't die because the one who did this didn't want them to die, as he has plans for them in the future. This happened because just now Rimuru stared at them and gave them a bone-chilling stare. Plus, for a brief moment, he activated his eyes. He only did so to scare milf a little and teach her where she should stop, but the others happened to get caught up in it. Still, it shook them to their very core, and left them with a scar that will never be healed. While all of them were scared to death and became unconscious, milf was in a different state. Her whole body was trembling, shaking violently like crazy, to the point where it was almost impossible for her to control herself. However, even in this state, her mind didn't stop, driven by her Oni-chan complex. Soon, she composed herself and started to think. I want to go to the Jur forest, but then that woman is still there, and I don't know her relationship with Bestie yet. But I also want to go there and eat delicious food, yeah, and fight Veldora too. But what if that woman has the same relationship as Ciel with Rimuru, and he doesn't need me anymore? What if he leaves me all alone? Arg, what should I do? Should I go to the Jur forest or should I not? Arg, I don't know, I'll go to the ice continent first and talk with Aunt Velzard. I am sure that she must know something about that woman. Yeah, I'll just do that. With that in mind, milf prepared to leave. See you later, guys. Milf said to the unconscious people and departed towards the ice continent. Chapter 55. Completion of Pieces Prelude to the Grand Plan. Part 2. Rimuru. It has been 2 months since the orc disaster incident, and many changes have occurred in this time. First, after defeating the orc disaster, I took the lizardmen and orcs under my leadership. Then, I had a discussion with Benimaru and the others, as well as the new leader of the orcs, resolving any remaining animosity between them. So now, all of my subordinates are on good terms with each other. After that was done, I revived all the orcs that had been killed during the earlier battle. I must say, their numbers are greater than in my other variant timelines. It seems that while major events are the same, some details differ across timelines. The total number after the revival of the orcs is 500,000, which is 300,000 more than in that timeline. Well, it's all good in the end. Now I have more workers as well as military power. After that, I named all the orcs and lizardmen as proof that they are now my subordinates. I also gave the name Geld to the new leader of the orcs, who is the son of the orc disaster. Upon receiving a name, he evolved into an orc lord and became considerably strong, reaching a level comparable to his father before his death. As for that idiot, I simply renamed him, and just like Geld, he also became stronger than before. I can't say who is stronger between them, but well, whatever. Regarding Debiru joining me, as we all know, he was kicked out by his father. So, along with some of his men, he came to my place with me. Additionally, his sister, whom I named Suoka, along with some of her people, also joined us. After we returned, I immediately assigned tasks to all the orcs. I told them to expand the city as fast as they could, and to build a giant colosseum because, you know, we have a fight to host between me and Veldora. Well, it's not exactly a fight since we're not going all out. I mean, he's not going all out, but it's still a fight nonetheless. Actually, I only have 300,000 orcs available as workers and for military purposes because, out of the 500,000 orcs, almost 100,000 are scattered across the forest to live their lives freely. Among the remaining 100,000 orcs, some are old, some are weak, some are children, and some don't want to join as construction workers or in the military. Well, I'm fine with it since I have enough orcs for what I need, so I let them go. So currently, I have a total of 300,000 orcs who are ready to go into war at any moment. Therefore, I created a corps of orcs. In the past month, I also established multiple military corps, such as the first one is the Green Corps, which is under Gopta's command. It could also be called Gopta's First Corps. He has become much stronger this past month due to his rigorous training with Akuro, as well as some shared lessons from Shizue. He has experienced hell. Well, it's only because of me that he has to go through this extra training, I guess, but then again, that bastard deserves it. Seriously, Gopta doesn't know what to say in what kind of situation, but again, he is just as goofy as he is cunning and intelligent, so I gave him a pass. Still, I made sure he received at least some punishment. And the result of that punishment is that now he is as strong as a special A rank monster, and on his way to reaching S rank. I must say, I am impressed by his abilities and potential, which is quite an achievement for him, since there are few things that can impress me, and the fact that he is just a hobgoblin makes it even more hilarious. Well, let's not lose focus. So, I was explaining the Green Corps, or more appropriately, the Green Numbers. There are 2 parts in the Green Corps, which consists of approximately 38,000 members. 1. Green Riders. 2,000 members. Evolved from the combination of hobgoblins and star wolves, each individual is ranked A+. They will serve as captains of this corps. 2. Green Numbers. 36,000 members. They have been split into a host of 12,000 members, comprising 3 teams. The majority of them are warriors from the many tribes of the Jura Forest. Even so, they are B+ rank and form a splendid fighting force. Next is Geld's Second Corps, which consists of approximately 200,000 members. 1. Yellow Numbers. 100,000 members. These are the elite high orcs serving under Geld from the beginning. Individually, they are of A+ rank. They are also able to unite with Geld to become a single shield. I reorganized them into teams and assigned captains. 2. Orange numbers. 100,000 members. They are made up of the recently born, high orcs, and are ranked A. After that comes Kabiru's third corps, which consists of approximately 11,000 members. 1. Hiryu. 1,000 members. Among them, 300 are Dragonutes who followed Kabiru to Tempest when he was exiled, and there were also 700 individuals who were impressed by Kabiru's strength after I renamed him, deciding to join him. Each individual is ranked A+, and they coordinate their attacks extremely well. They're also learning the dragon body transformation, which will be their trump card in the future. 2. Wyvern Riders. 5,000 members. Comprised solely of new applicants from the lizardmen who have evolved into Dragonutes. They mount the Wyverns B+ level lesser dragon species, and dominate the airspace. 3. Blue Numbers. 5,000 members. Comprised solely of new applicants from the lizardmen who have evolved into Dragonutes. Next is Benimaru's fourth corps, consisting of approximately 20,500 members. 1. Kurenai. 500 members. A group of A+ ranked ogres and a few over A++ ranked Kijin, led by Gobwa, acts as Benimaru's personal cohort. 2. Red Numbers. Approximately 20,000 monsters. They are mostly of A rank, with a few individuals in the A+ ranked territory. They volunteer to protect Tempest. After that comes Saui's Kure Army, which consists of approximately 1,000 members. This unit specializes in intelligence, espionage, and assassination. Saoi has sole and exclusive control over them, and few even know of their existence. Most known members are Dragonute. Next is Shion's personal army, with approximately 10,100 members. 1. Yamagari. 100 members. This unit consists of individuals who have managed to obtain the extra skill perfect memory and become nigh immortal. They have reached over A+ rank and are trained personally by Shion. Actually, the story behind these monsters acquiring the extra skill perfect memory is quite hilarious. The thing is, Shion wanted to create a squad to act as royal bodyguards. Since she holds the position of my personal bodyguard, she felt the need for a dedicated team to provide additional protection. She approached Diablo for assistance, and you know Diablo, since it was for me, he agreed to help. Together, they began creating a new squad. For this purpose, they selected a few monsters and started to train them. However, during the training process there were numerous instances where they unintentionally killed the monsters. Since Diablo was with her, he always resurrected them after killing them. Surprisingly, through these repeated deaths, the monsters acquired the extra skill perfect memory. I don't know whether to praise them or become angry for killing our own comrades. So for the time being, I left that matter as it was. So, where was I? Next was 2. Shion's fan club. Approximately 10,000 members. For the time being, I have this much army under my command. Benimaru is the supreme commander, who has absolute authority over the entire army after me. Additionally, there are the black numbers, solely consisting of demons. I am planning to create them once my and Veldora's match is over. Well, that can be done, so no worries. If you're wondering how I managed to accomplish so much in such a short amount of time, like expanding my country and building an entire city while simultaneously creating my military, and also the fact that the growth of individuals like Kabiru, Geld, Benimaru, Shion, and others, then there's one simple answer for that. Time manipulation. I created a barrier around the whole Jur forest that is not affected by anything, not even time, and changed the flow of time inside the Jur forest. I made it so that 1 month outside the Jur forest is equivalent to 1 year inside the Jur forest. Because of that, it was possible for my nation and my subordinates to progress so much in such a short amount of time. For the outside world, only 2 months have passed, but for the people inside the Jur forest, 1 year and 1 month have passed. So I accomplished all of this in 1 year of time. I expanded my territory, and now the whole Jur forest, along with all of its monsters, is under my command. Every tribe, every race, is under me, every one of them. After 1 month following the orc disaster incident, I called Trini and ordered her to gather every tribe leader, village chief, and representative of each race and group to me within just 1 week's time. Everyone was assembled in one place, just as I wanted. There, I told them that they had only 2 choices. Submit and live happy lives, or die. Soon, chaos erupted in that place, but in the end, everyone agreed to join me. That's how I took every monster inside the Jur forest under my command. Well, following that time, there was a noticeable event such as Benimaru's marriage. He got married to Hakuro and Kadi's daughter, the leader of the Tengu tribe. The story behind it is long and funny, so I'll save it for another time. But in the end, they got married. Don't worry, I saved Mimiji's mother, and now she's living happily with Hakuro. Speaking of Hakuro, before agreeing to their marriage, he almost killed Benimaru for making Mimiji sad. After their wedding, he gave Benimaru a warning. Make my daughter sad, and I'll cut down your balls. That dude is evil. Anyway, that's all in the past. Recently, Benimaru told me that Mimiji is pregnant. I visited her to ensure that she and her babies are healthy. Yes, babies I know, but I haven't told Benimaru yet. It'll be a surprise for him, and I'm sure he'll be very happy to find out for himself. After that was done, I gave Geld and his men the layout of the city. It's a grand layout, the pinnacle of architecture. The city's layout embodies architectural excellence, crafted with precision to perfection. Every element has been carefully placed and refined, reflecting a harmonious blend of functionality and aesthetic appeal. From the arrangement of streets and buildings to the integration of public spaces and infrastructure, each aspect has been thoughtfully considered to optimize efficiency and enhance the overall experience for residents and visitors alike. When Ciel and I were designing the city, our primary goal was to create the most beautiful and spectacular city in existence. We included stunning parks filled with lush greenery, offering serene spots for relaxation and recreational activities. Grand plazas and cultural landmarks are strategically placed to highlight the city's rich heritage and aesthetic grandeur. Sculptures, fountains, and meticulously designed gardens add to the city's breathtaking visual appeal. There are also entertainment facilities, such as theaters and arenas for sports and events, to provide ample recreational options. Furthermore, we planned for areas dedicated to marketplaces and commercial zones, where residents can enjoy a vibrant local culture and commerce. The city also boasts advanced infrastructure, including well-maintained roads and efficient public transport systems, to ensure easy navigation. Additionally, we have made it in a way that when it is complete, it will create giant magic circles throughout the whole Jura forest. These circles can detect anything inside it, as well as any intruders. They can also store the data of the people of the Jura forest. There is another magic circle made specifically for the city, which surrounds the whole city and acts as a shield and sword at the same time. The last magic circle is made to lessen the concentration of the magicules inside the city, to a degree that any normal human can live here, as well as not harm any monster either. The most unique thing about these circles is that they are designed in a way to absorb magic from the surroundings to sustain and maintain themselves. Furthermore, we have integrated state-of-the-art technology within the city to monitor and maintain the magic circles that detect any intruders, store data on the residents, and regulate the concentration of magicules, ensuring the city is safe and habitable for both humans and monsters. It is designed in a way that, when Rammus arrives, it will be easy to shift this monitoring room into the labyrinth, making it our primary base. In essence, this grand city is designed to be a perfect blend of natural beauty, cultural richness, and modern convenience, making it the most magnificent city ever created. Once the construction of the city was done, it was time to build the Grand Colosseum. They built a magnificent arena perfect for hosting epic battles, with the capacity to hold almost 1 million people. I'm sure our battle will be great. And 1 year had passed in this process. During that time, not only did my subordinates work tirelessly to make the nation prosperous, but they also dedicated themselves to rigorous training, improved themselves, and became stronger. After 1 year was complete, I returned the flow of time to normal and undid the barrier. After 1 month in the outside world, King Gazel came to visit us, and what can I say, he was shocked to see an entire nation inside the Jura forest. He was so stunned that he collapsed upon seeing the city. After some time, when he woke up, we had a meeting, and it went peacefully. In that meeting, we formed an alliance, an equal alliance. During the alliance, we agreed on the following terms. 1. A non-aggression treaty. 2. A promise of assistance in the event either nation is endangered. 3. The construction of a road to Dwargan in exchange for their support. 4. Guaranteed safety for dwarves within the forest of Jura, as well as guaranteed safety for the people of Tempest within the armed nation of Dwargan. 5. Promises of sharing technology between Tempest and Dwargan. And no, I am not at a loss here because neither I nor my country will lose anything from helping them. Additionally, I need his country because it is key to making an alliance with Bloomid, and Bloomid is the key to entering the Western nations. I know that I could conquer the Western nations with only my nation, but this way is more interesting, so I'll go with this one. After the meeting, when it comes to the name of my nation, we decided to name it after me and Veldora, so we chose Tempest, and thus my nation, the Jura Tempest Federation, was born. And my ever-eccentric subordinates decided to name the capital of the nation after me, and thus the capital of our nation, Rimuru, was born. In reality, from the name, everyone will think that it is a federation, but the truth is that it operates more like a dictatorship, where my word is absolute law and what I say happens. Here, I have the highest authority over everything. As the king of the nation, I'm supposed to have many responsibilities, but that's not a problem for me, because all the paperwork and administrative tasks are taken care of by Rigard. All I have to do is focus on the important matters and give the final orders, but if I choose not to, there are people who can take care of this for me. Even in that case, if I were to decide something, no one is against it. I have this much privilege as a king. I think I am starting to feel bad for Rigard for giving him so much work, but then again, he needs to learn how to run a nation, because, in the future, I am going to make him prime minister, and give him authority over almost everything except the military and a few other matters. Well, that's in the future. So let's focus on the things at hand. 1 week after our alliance with Dworgen, Gazel gave one of his men to me. I want it because he will be one of the important people of my nation. It was Vesta, and with that, I have taken all of my subordinates under me, and now I am ready to start my plan at any moment. However, I am still waiting because I am planning to put my plan into motion after my and Veldora's match. So it can wait for a few more days. Currently, Veldora is outside, taking his stroll around the world. Well, after that came Fuse, you know, the guild master of the Bloomed Kingdom. He, along with that idiot trio, came to our nation because, after listening to those idiots' report, he couldn't believe what they were saying. So, that's why he personally visited us, and well, his visit went well aside from 6-7 heart attacks. Also, there was that party of those humans. Yeah, his name is Yaum and his adventurers party. At first, they were arrogant and had their attitude, but it all changed once they had a good practice session with Akuro. Now, they're staying in our nation for some more training with Akuro. Once that is finished, he is going to return to the human country and help people in need. I must say, he has become a completely new person compared to himself when he just got here. I am not going to tell him to pretend that he was the one who defeated the orc disaster, as it is pointless. Also, why would I need to do that? My other variant did that because he wanted to build friendly relationships with humans. It's not like I want to build friendly relationships with human countries or anything. But if they want, then I won't deny making friendly relationships either. You can say I am more neutral towards them. If they want to establish friendly relationships, then I am fine with it. If they want war, then I'll give them 1,000 times worse. Well, there is no point in going in that direction, so let's focus on previous matters. Yeah, milf hasn't come to visit me. She should have come already, but she didn't. She stayed on the ice continent for a month, and after that, she returned to those weaklings. I wonder what is going on inside her head. Well, whatever it is, right now she is coming here, so I'll ask her when she arrives. Chapter 56. Blow off some steam. Unleash. Veldora Pov. Right now, I am returning to Tempest from my stroll. I must say it was quite the stroll. Those puny humans were quite amusing, their reactions when they saw me were nothing short of hilarious. Truly, Rimuru knows how to find amusing things and cure boredom. When they beheld my glorious, magnificent, majestic, and mighty dragon form, they were unable to contain their shock and awe. It wasn't just shock, they were utterly terrified to the point that some of them died just from seeing me. Pathetic creatures. Chaos erupted across their lands as panic spread like wildfire. It was very amusing to see. In every corner of their cities, people ran in fear, screaming and scrambling for safety like bugs when they saw their predators. Haha. Their bustling marketplaces filled in seconds, and their streets became chaotic with the desperate movements of terrified citizens. The leaders, too, were thrown into chaos, unable to maintain order or provide reassurance to their people, because they themselves were also too terrified to think. The sight of my majestic form sent waves of terror through their hearts, disrupting their lives and shattering their sense of security like a mirror. Their military forces were mobilized, but their efforts were in vain against my overwhelming presence. Of course, that was going to happen. I am the great mighty storm. Dragon Velzard-Tempest, after all. The air was thick with fear that could be cut with a knife, and whispers of my return spread rapidly, causing widespread pandemonium. Any semblance of awe was completely overshadowed by their sheer panic and dread, as they realized the true power and might of a true dragon. Such was the impact of me just making a small appearance. Thus from their looks, I don't think they will do anything stupid like attacking our forest or anything. They are too terrified to do something like that. And even if they did, I would just eliminate them. Well, now that I am near Tempest, I should return to my human form. If I don't, the residents of Tempest might be scared of me, and if a commotion breaks out, I am done for. Rimuru might just scold me, but Ciel. I don't even want to think about it. Last time when I did something wrong, she punished me and gave me a good scolding. I still remember it, although only a little vividly. A calm but stern voice, the cold, methodical precision of her words. She didn't just stop at scolding, she handed out a punishment that was both fair and unyielding. For days, I was tasked with the most tedious chores in the world, and for 5 straight years, she didn't even let me touch a manga, let alone read it. She made sure that I had plenty of time to reflect on my actions in an empty place. I get that I was in the wrong, but she didn't have to ban me from reading manga. Her anger was terrifying, scarier than my sister's when they used to educate me years ago. Despite all my power and experience, I'm scared of Ciel. When she gets angry, it's like facing a force of nature. Her eyes seem to pierce right through you, and her words cut deeper than any sword. There's no escaping her judgment, and the memory of being on the receiving end of her anger still sends shivers down my spine. So, as much as I enjoy my glorious, magnificent, majestic, and mighty dragon form, I know better than to risk causing unnecessary trouble in Tempest, and making her angry is to shift to my human form. The last thing I need is another one of Ciel's lessons. Transforming back, I feel my massive powerful form shrinking down to the more familiar, less intimidating human shape. It's a bit of a letdown, losing that immense, majestic presence, but it's worth it to keep the peace with her. I still don't get how bro is able to handle her. Marriage is scary. Milm is coming here. Why? Should I go look? Why not? Let's go. Ha. Why are these people looking at her with hostility? I need to see what's going on. But if I go there and something happens, she will blame me again, and then I'll have to face Ciel. Why does this have to be so hard? Whatever, I'll go. It's just as they say. Great things come with great risks. I'll go and see if there is something interesting going on. Third person Pav. With these thoughts, Veldora started to head in Milm's direction. As he neared the location, he saw a big crater created by none other than Milm herself. It is true that Milm now has control over her powers, but right now she is in a bad mood, and that's why she didn't care that she made a crater. As he went near the crater, he saw that Milm was in the middle of it with a frustrated look on her face. There were also a few individuals surrounding her. Benimaru, Xian, Hikuro, Saoi, Geld, and some other monsters. They were all showing hostility towards Milm. He also noticed that Diablo was there, hiding his presence completely to a degree that only beings with significant experience, such as he and Milm, could detect him. What is going on? Why is there a big crater in the middle like this? And why are they surrounding Milm like this? Are they planning to fight her? And why is Milm making that kind of face? Is she angry about something? Hell no, if they attacked her right now, she wouldn't think twice before snapping on them. And why is Diablo standing there, letting it happen? Ah, I see, so that's how it is, huh? He wants to see how they will do in front of someone like Milm when she's ready to kill them. Clever idea, but isn't he going a little too far? I mean, if Buddy finds out, it won't end well. Well, whatever, it's none of my problem. I'll just take my leave. Like hell, I can do this. If Rimuru finds out that I saw his subordinates in this kind of situation and let it happen, he will kill me. But I can't let myself get into this. I don't want to get myself involved in this mess. If I get involved, then I am sure Ciel will definitely kill me. I don't want that. What should I do? If I leave them as it is, I'll get into trouble, and if I don't leave them, I'll also get into trouble. What am I supposed to do? I can't even pretend that I was still outside the forest and never return because I am sure that Rimuru is well aware of everything. Why do these kinds of things always happen to me? Am I cursed? Wait, that's not what I need to think right now. I don't have any option but to see what will happen, so I'll have to make the most out of it. So, what should I do now? Yes, I know. If I make my entry now and defend them by defeating Milm, then that would be such an epic scene. Let's do it. No, think, Veldora. Ciel will do something worse to you, like taking your unique skill entertainer, and blocking any means of reading manga for you. It will be better to leave and face Rimuru, it will be less cruel than Ciel's punishment. But again, in order to gain something, one must be ready to sacrifice something. I can handle a little punishment for such a grand and glorious entrance. I can handle some punishment. It's decided. I'll intervene, but first, let them take some damage, or else it won't be as effective as it should be. With these thoughts, Veldora quietly started to observe what was happening, and waited for the perfect timing to appear. He watched closely, assessing the situation and preparing for the moment when he could make his dramatic and supposedly epic entrance. The tension in the air was too much as the confrontation happened, and Veldora knew that his chance to shine was coming soon. And just as Veldora predicted, they all soon attacked Milm, but it was futile because Milm beat all of them without much effort. She barely did anything. Now, all of them are on the ground with considerable damage. Even though everyone has improved significantly, and Benimaru and Xian have already surpassed the awakened stage without even awakening themselves, it was still nothing in front of Milm. She barely did anything, yet they all got defeated. This happened because of a few factors, such as the lack of ultimate skills, the lack of attack power, and, most importantly, because Milm is a natural catastrophe, and in existence far above anything, and can be matched by only a few individuals. If they had ultimate skills, they could have made her put some effort into beating them, because she is an ultimate skill holder herself. As a result, the attacks of beings who don't have any ultimate skills are practically harmless to her, because unique skills have no effect on ultimate skills. Even if she didn't have any ultimate skills, she herself is an ultimate existence, and her natural power is far beyond something like ultimate skills, which can only be matched by something comparable, such as true dragons, or an existence similar or equivalent to that. Her inherent strength, power, and abilities are beyond anything normal, which place her on a different level entirely, making it nearly impossible for anyone without similar power to challenge her effectively. Another factor is their lack of sufficient power. To inflict even a little damage on Milm, one must use an attack that is at least capable of destroying an average galaxy inside the cardinal world, but even that attack would only scratch her. And if she is serious, it would just tickle her. Note: I am not nerfing Benimaru, Xian, and others by making them get beaten like this, because milf is genuinely on a different level than they are. It was only natural for her to handle them like children. As the dust settled and the defeated warriors lay sprawled across the ground, Veldora decided it was time to make his entrance. He could feel the non-existent adrenaline pumping through his non-existent veins as he prepared to make his entrance in the most dramatic fashion possible. Taking a deep breath, he channeled his immense power, causing the air around him to crackle with energy. The space around him started to disrupt. With a booming roar that echoed across the landscape, Veldora soared into the sky, transforming mid-air into his magnificent dragon form. His scales shone in the bright sunlight, and his massive wings spread wide, casting a shadow over the entire field, giving the others a sense of relief and security. The ground trembled under the force of his landing, creating another crater beside the one milf had made. However, his crater was much bigger, spanning a massive area, and showcasing the sheer power and intensity of his dragon form. The impact sent shockwaves through the earth, causing nearby trees to sway and boulders to scatter through the surroundings. Dust and debris flew into the air, creating a dramatic backdrop as Veldora's colossal dragon form settled into the newly formed crater. His landing wasn't just a display of strength, it was a statement. The size of the crater dwarfing milf emphasized his dominance and the raw, untamed power that he wielded. The ground beneath them shook, and the atmosphere was charged with his overwhelming presence. This was a display of grandeur that few could ever hope to match, a reminder of why Veldora was revered and feared as the Storm Dragon. Seeing the impact of his entrance, Veldora smiled, satisfied with the result. But to the onlookers, that smile looked far from satisfied. It looked vicious and terrifying. Fear not, for the great mighty Storm Dragon Veldora-tempest has arrived. His voice thundered through the air, reverberating in the ears of all present with a thunderous boom. The sheer intensity of his presence intimidated everyone, momentarily making them forget their own battles and injuries. milf's eyes whitened in surprise, a mix of amusement and curiosity flickering across her face. However, her previous frustrated look quickly returned just as fast as it had vanished. The onlookers, including Benimaru, Xian, Hikuro, Ciel, and Geld, looked up in awe and confusion. Their hostility was momentarily replaced by astonishment, awe, and newfound respect for Veldora. But there was one certain black demon who had an entirely different impression. He just slapped his head with his arm in exasperation. Why, Veldora-sama, why now? Of all times, why now? It was going according to plan. It was supposed to help them grow mentally and spiritually. Why did you decide to intervene now? For now, I should observe what happens and intervene when necessary, were Diablo's thoughts. Veldora, in his glorious moment, descended gracefully. His massive dragon form began to shrink, scales retracting and wings folding as he transformed back into his human form. When he landed in the center of the craters, the ground beneath him cracked under the weight of his residual power. A gust of wind blew outward, scattering dust, debris, and boulders in all directions. The sheer force of his presence caused the earth to tremble. As he stood tall, the remaining dust settled around him, creating a dramatic, almost ethereal scene just as he wanted. His human form, though smaller, radiated an intimidating presence of raw, untamed power. After swiftly landing, Veldora started to head towards milf, all the while trying to be as intimidating as he could, in an attempt to make a very good impression. After all, he was taking a risk here with a very good chance of getting into trouble. With each step he took, the ground beneath him trembled, sending vibrations through the planet. The very planet seemed to shake in response to his presence. Dust and boulders danced around his feet, and the air crackled with energy. His eyes, glowing with fierceness, were fixed on milf as he approached, exuding an aura of raw, untamed power that demanded attention and respect. The onlookers, including Benimaru, Xian, Hikuro, Ciel, and Geld, remained in awe, their eyes wide with a mix of astonishment and respect for the Storm Dragon, just as Veldora wanted. Even Diablo, a usually composed and aloof guy, couldn't help but feel exasperated at Veldora's dramatic display. The sheer force of Veldora's presence was impossible to ignore, creating an atmosphere charged with anticipation and tension. milf, still in the center of the cave, watched him intently. Her expression never changed as she observed Veldora approach her in a dramatic way, trying to intimidate her, but it didn't affect her in the slightest. milf, my niece. Veldora called out, his voice now calmer than before, but still carrying an undeniable authority that only superior beings have. You've had your fun, but it's time to put an end to these cruel deeds of yours. We don't want to destroy everything, do we? If you do any more than this, then he will be angry with both you and me. Veldora said the first part as if he were addressing a villain. However, as he said the second sentence, the tone of his voice changed, but it was only noticed by two individuals present there. Diablo and milf. After hearing him, milf crossed her arms and puffed her cheeks in anger and frustration before replying. Don't talk about that jerk. How dare he be with another woman again? HMPH. And now I am in a very bad mood. You know what? I wanted to blow off some steam anyway. Good thing you came now. Now come and fight me. milf said to Veldora. Right now, milf is having mixed thoughts because the things that Velzard has told her only make her angry at Rimuru. Note. Right now, she is in Oni-chan complex mode and acting on its instincts, which involves seeing any woman who comes close to Rimuru as her enemy, because she thinks they are there to take Rimuru away from her. However, this is only for a short time because as soon as she comes into contact with Rimuru, she will return to normal. After hearing her, there was a visible confusion in Veldora's face for a moment, but he discarded it because milf had just challenged him. This was a very good opportunity for him because now he could fight someone strong, as well as show his awesome moves to these people, and show off a little too. The best thing is, even if damage happens, he wouldn't be getting blamed because milf is the one who challenged him. He chuckled, his eyes gleaming with mischief. Haha. A fight, you say? I initially came here to save these poor souls from your wrath. After all, someone has to keep the balance, right? And to do that, if I need to fight you, then so be it, I'll fight you. Veldora chuckled, his eyes gleaming with mischief as he replied to milf. His intention is to make it seem to onlookers that milf is the villain and Veldora the hero, while simultaneously ensuring that the witnesses understood that milf had initiated the fight. As he spoke, he spread his haki and created a protective barrier around Benimaru and the others, shielding them from any further harm. milf's eyes narrowed, her aura flaring in response to Veldora's words. She launched herself at him with incredible speed, her fist aimed directly at his face. However, Veldora blocked the attack with ease, meeting her fist with his own. The collision of their fists sent shockwaves through the area, causing the ground to crack and nearby trees to sway violently. Is that all you've got? I expected more from the mighty destroyer. Veldora taunted, grinning, his voice echoing with confidence. milf responded to his taunts with a barrage of punches and kicks, each one more powerful than the last. However, Veldora matched her blow for blow with precision, their movements so fast that they were invisible to the onlookers. The ground trembled beneath their feet, and the land started to split. Pathetic. milf said, a bored smile on her face. Pathetic, you say? Then what do you think of this? Veldora replied, delivering a powerful kick to her back that sent her crashing into the ground. milf quickly recovered from Veldora's attack, standing back to her feet with a new expression on her face. The previously frustrated and bored expression now changed to one of annoyance and excitement. She was annoyed by Veldora, but she also started enjoying the fight. With this newfound excitement, she charged at Veldora again, this time summoning her draconic energy to enhance her attacks. Her fists glowed with pink light, and each punch created a sonic boom as it traveled through space, cutting through the air. In response, Veldora summoned his own elemental powers. He created a whirlwind around himself, using gusts of wind to deflect milf's attacks. The two fighters continued to clash, their energies creating a storm of power that illuminated the sky and shook the earth. As they exchanged blows, their surroundings were engulfed in a maelstrom of energy and light. Onlookers watched in awe as these two titans clashed, their battle reaching a new level of power and fury. Not bad, milf. Not bad. But you'll need to do better than that to defeat me. Veldora shouted over the top of his lungs while deflecting her punch. Is that so? Then how about this? milf grinned, her eyes sparkling with excitement. True to her words, she unleashed a devastating energy blast from her palms aimed directly at Veldora. But it was futile, as he countered with his own energy beam. The two attacks met in a blinding explosion of light and sound. The force of the explosion created a massive crater in the ground, sending shockwaves that were felt for miles. As the dust settled, both fighters were still standing, without much of a scratch. They exchanged a knowing look, telling each other that they had to finish it up as soon as possible, because at any moment Rimuru could appear. You're as strong as ever, Veldora, but I've had enough. milf said, dusting some dirt from her clothes. Same goes for you, milf, Veldora replied nonchalantly. milf unleashed a series of rapid strikes infused with her dragon knuckle technique, each punch generating a sonic boom. Veldora countered with his new technique that he has yet to name, a technique that allowed him to deflect her blows with minimal effort, redirecting the energy back at her. The air around them crackled with energy, and sparks flew as their energies clashed. As their battle raged on, it became clear that both were not drawing their full power. They didn't even use any energy, only exchanging blows with some energy-based attacks here and there. milf's attacks were fueled by her raw strength and aura, creating explosions of force with every hit. Veldora, on the other hand, showcased his mastery of elemental control, summoning powerful gusts of wind and torrents of water to counter milf's onslaught. They continued to exchange powerful attacks, neither gaining a clear advantage. The intensity of their battle grew, the sheer force of their strikes, causing the protective barrier around Benimaru and the others to tremble and pulse. Each impact sent ripples through the barrier, but it held firm. From a distance, Diablo watched the fight with keen interest, aware of the skill and strength of both fighters. He could see that both were enjoying the battle, but he also recognized the potential danger if it continued unchecked. I think my time to step in is nearing, Diablo muttered to himself, preparing to intervene if necessary. But for now, he observed, ready to act if the situation escalated further. He knew he couldn't stop either of them, much less both together. But at the moment, they weren't fighting seriously or using much power. So, for the time being, he could stop them. He also had a few tricks up his sleeve. As their battle raged on, milf and Veldora both began to tap into more power. Energy crackled around them, illuminating the surroundings with a dazzling display of light and power. Finally, milf took a step back, still grinning. "You're good, Veldora. But this isn't over yet. This should be for the time being. We should stop after this, so prepare yourself. I won't cut loose in this attack," milf said to Veldora, knowing full well that this is as far as they can go at this time. Veldora, knowing exactly what she meant, nodded, all the while smiling from ear to ear. "Indeed, milf. Let's see who can outlast the other's attack," Veldora said with an excitement-filled voice, ready to unleash a devastating attack at any moment. With that, they launched themselves at each other once more, fists backed by their respective energies, ready to attack. They had put as much strength as they could into their fists, knowing that this would be their last attack of the fight. The ground beneath them tore apart as milf and Veldora charged at each other, their fists glowing with raw, concentrated energy. The space around their fists started to crack, and the observers could barely keep their eyes open, due to the intense light emanating from their fists. "Take this." milf roared, her fist leaving distorted space behind with a trail of pink energy, as it surged towards Veldora. "Bring it on, milf." Veldora bellowed back, his own fist glowing with a radiant blue aura that spread chaos through space and time. As the tension peaked, with their fists about to collide, something unexpected happened. "Honestly, I'd just leave you alone for a moment, and you do all of this." In the middle of their fierce battle, with their fists about to collide, containing enough energy to destroy entire continents, an angelic voice echoed throughout the battlefield. For a moment, it seemed that everything had stopped, as if time itself had paused. Following the voice, a loud sound of someone hitting someone echoed, and both Veldora and milf were sent flying in opposite directions. They crashed into the ground with tremendous force, creating 2 new craters, which covered the entire area that had been damaged during their fight. The impact kicked up clouds of dust, blocking everyone's view. As the dust settled, Rimuru-tempest, the king of all existence, could be seen floating at the place where Veldora and milf had been just a moment ago. He was wearing black pants and shoes, while his entire upper body was bare, revealing his divine and well-defined physique. Rimuru's appearance was nothing short of mesmerizing, exuding an aura of authority and majesty. His skin was flawless, glowing with an ethereal light that spoke of his immense power and celestial origins. His hair, reaching a little more than his lower back, had a striking silver-blue color, flowing like liquid starlight, reminiscent of the night sky. It flowed with a mesmerizing elegance, as if guided by the celestial winds. His face, a blend of masculine and feminine beauty, was both handsome and beautiful, embodying male yet female perfection. His glowing golden eyes, deep and mesmerizing, held the wisdom of ages and the kindness of a deity. They glowed with a serene yet commanding presence, while simultaneously radiating immense power, which made everyone kneel and submit to him instinctively. "Veldora, milf, what are you two doing?" Rimuru's voice was firm, but there was a hint of concern. "You could have caused some serious damage, not just to each other, but to everyone here," he continued, descending down to the ground like a god descending upon the mortal realm from the heavens. "Sorry, bestie. It's this old man's fault. He dragged me into this. Yes, Veldora is the one who caused this. I am innocent here. I just came here to see you." Putting all the blame on Veldora, milf rushed to Rimuru's side. Hey, don't lie. You were the one who started all this. Didn't you say something about wanting to blow off some steam? Now don't put all the blame on me, Rimuru. I have witnesses, you can ask them." Veldora explained in his defense as he got up and pointed towards Benimaru and others for their testimony. But to his shock, now turned dismay, no one opened their mouth, much less talked. It was because milf was glaring holes into them. Why how you stop doing that? Don't scare them and let them speak." Veldora, with a gobsmacked expression, looked between the witnesses and Rimuru, unable to speak due to his inability to comprehend what was happening. After a while of gibbering, he managed to gather his thoughts and started to yell at milf, who was now hiding behind Rimuru, as he pointed his finger at her accusingly. "I don't know what you're talking about." Fufu, milf replied, attempting to whistle but utterly failing. Seeing their behavior, Rimuru just sighed, shaking his head in exasperation. "I understand the need to let off some steam, but there are better ways to do it without risking everyone's safety. Next time, find a more appropriate place for your sparring matches." For the time being, Rimuru decided to settle things with just scolding them, because right now he is in a good mood. After scolding them a little, he shifted his focus on others, not wanting to deal with their antics anymore. "It was a good warm-up, though, right, milf?" Veldora, still dusting himself off, muttered. "Yeah, it was," milf replied in a very low voice, although it was heard by Rimuru, but he just ignored them. The gathered onlookers, including Benimaru and Diablo, relaxed, relieved that the conflict had ended without further destruction. "Thank you, Rimuru-sama. Your timing, as always, is impeccable. I don't think there is any need to tell who he is. Diablo stepped forward, his usual calm demeanor unchanged as if nothing had happened. Rimuru nodded towards him and shifted his attention towards others, knowing full well that if he gave any more attention to him, then he would just start to sing his praises to no end, and he doesn't want to deal with that, certainly not. So ignoring him, he looked at the devastation around them. Alright, everyone, let's all take this as a lesson. There are better ways to channel our energies and settle disputes without resorting to such destructive measures, he said, his voice carrying a tone of wisdom. The onlookers murmured in agreement, understanding the gravity of Rimuru's words. They knew that while conflict is inevitable, there are ways to handle it responsibly and without endangering others. After hearing Rimuru's words, the tension dissipated. As the tension subsided, Rimuru turned to address Benimaru, Veld, Xian, and the others, and healed them. Let's clean up this mess, repair the damage, and treat the injured. And Veldora, milf, we'll have a long chat later, he ordered his men, his voice calm but authoritative, and started to leave. As they began to restore the battlefield, Rimuru's presence reassured everyone that balance had been restored. Milf and Veldora, despite their scolding, couldn't help but exchange a grin, confident that they would not be punished for anything, since Rimuru only said that he would talk later. But oh god, they're totally wrong about it because Rimuru has a very good punishment for them in mind. Next time, I'll definitely win, milf whispered to Veldora. We'll see about that, Veldora replied with a wink, and they both started to follow Rimuru, who, after looking around a little, teleported to his house.